lives shaped by random events? Or is there an unseen force leading us toward the people we are meant to meet? This question has puzzled humanity for centuries, giving rise to myths, philosophies, and theories that attempt to explain the connections we form. Across cultures and generations, people have wondered whether love, friendship, and significant encounters happen by chance or by design. Is there a force that binds us to certain individuals, ensuring that no matter what choices we make, our paths will eventually cross? Among the many beliefs that seek to answer this question, one of the most intriguing is the red string theory, an ancient idea that suggests our lives are intertwined with others in ways we may not fully understand. The red string theory comes from an old belief that an invisible red thread ties people together, those destined to meet, love, or influence each other's lives. This thread exists regardless of time, place, or circumstances. It may stretch, tangle, or be delayed, but it will never break. No matter what choices we make, no matter how far we stray, we will always be led back to the people we are meant to encounter. This idea has been passed down for generations, inspiring countless stories and legends that reinforce the idea of fated connections. A well-known story illustrates this concept. Long ago, an emperor seeking a wife called upon a witch who could see the red string of fate. She led him to a small village where they met a poor woman holding a baby. She pointed at the woman and told the emperor that this was the person he was destined to be with. Angered, the emperor refused to believe it. How could he, a ruler, be tied to a peasant? In frustration, he pushed the woman aside, causing the baby to fall and injure its forehead. Convinced the witch was mocking him, he ordered her execution and left. Years later, when the time came for him to marry, his advisors arranged a match with the daughter of a powerful general. On the wedding day, as his bride lifted her veil, he was struck by the sight of a scar on her forehead, the same place where he had once injured the peasant's child. It was then that he realized the truth. Despite all his choices, despite his rejection of fate, he had still arrived exactly where he was meant to be. The red string theory suggests that life is not as random as it seems. No matter how much we try to control our future, there are certain people we are bound to meet. This idea challenges the modern belief in free will, the idea that we shape our own destinies through choice. But does fate mean we have no control at all? Perhaps the red string does not dictate every step we take, but instead acts as a guide. We may wander, we may make mistakes, we may take longer routes, but in the end, we will find our way to the connections that were always meant to be. On the other hand, there is the butterfly effect, the idea that small actions can completely change the course of our lives. A single decision, a missed train, or a different choice could lead us down an entirely new path. If everything is fluid and subject to change, does the red string really exist? Or is it something we only see in hindsight? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. What if fate is not a rigid script, but a network of possibilities? What if the red string is not a single thread, but a web, guiding us, offering us chances, but still allowing us the freedom to make choices? Throughout history, various cultures have embraced different interpretations of fate and destiny. In Greek mythology, the Moirai, or fates, controlled the thread of life, spinning, measuring, and ultimately cutting it when one's time had come. This perspective suggests that our lives are predetermined and that our choices only fulfill an inevitable path. Similarly, in Chinese philosophy, the concept of yuanfen describes the mysterious force that dictates who enters our lives, emphasizing the significance of destined relationships. These cultural parallels reinforce the idea that humanity has long sought to understand the invisible forces that shape our interactions and life trajectories. Psychologists and scientists have also weighed in on the debate between fate and free will. Some argue that what we perceive as fate is actually the result of subconscious psychological patterns. The choices we make, the people we are drawn to, and the events we experience may be influenced by deep-seated instincts, past experiences, and personal biases. Cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias and the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, might make us more likely to notice patterns that reinforce our belief in destiny while ignoring the role of chance and randomness in our lives. Could it be that our perception of fate is merely a narrative we construct to make sense of our experiences? Alternatively, the idea of synchronicity, introduced by psychologist Carl Jung, offers another perspective. Synchronicity suggests that seemingly unrelated events are meaningfully connected, reinforcing the notion that certain encounters and occurrences in our lives are more than mere coincidence. Jung believed that these meaningful coincidences could be evidence of an underlying order in the universe, perhaps even a manifestation of the red string in action, while skeptics argue that such connections are simply products of chance. Those who have experienced inexplicable coincidences often find it difficult to dismiss the possibility of a deeper, unseen influence. Some believe that certain people are inevitable in our lives, that no matter how much we resist, we will always find our way to them. Others believe that our choices hold more power than any predetermined fate. Ultimately, the question of fate versus free will remains unanswered, leaving us to wonder, are we bound by the red string, or are we the architects of our own destinies? Whether the red string is real or a comforting illusion, its enduring presence in mythology, psychology, and personal experience suggests that, at the very least, the human desire to believe in meaningful connections is undeniable.